Here's how to figure out your attachment style. There's 4 attachment styles: secure, and then there's 3 insecure ones. And each one of these insecure ones are denoted by a core wound. Now, it's important to notice that we can get wounded in different ways, but the main wounds are abandonment, trust issues, and or like betrayal, and feeling broken. Okay, these are the main wounds that come up for people that sort of dictate the insecurity. Now, you can be wounded in several ways, right? You could have abandonment, trust issues, and feeling broken. But how do you tell which one is the one that's predominant? Well, when you get triggered in conflict and you go into survival mode, that fight or flight mode, the thing that your body and your subconscious is most scared of is going to dictate which stress response that you utilize when you feel triggered. And so the difference between a secure person and the insecure is that that secure person is going to have a nervous system regulation ability. They might get triggered just like other people, but they're going to have the bandwidth and the awareness to notice when that happens, and they're going to use the tools to come back down to earth, to not act in an insecure way when conflict arises. The insecure people, the difference is they just don't have that awareness or that ability to regulate their nervous system. Okay, and they might have some conflict resolution, communication, bandwidth, like loss of. They're not going to know the format for conflict resolution, and a secure person ideally would have learned that technique. But watch what you do when you get triggered in conflict. Okay, so if your core wound is abandonment, in conflict, you're going to give in to the other person. You're going to just make things good. You don't want to risk losing that person because you're afraid of abandonment. That's what anxious preoccupied does. They do not want to experience the abandonment that they've experienced in their youth. Now, it's not always abandonment that causes it. Sometimes it's a hot and cold parent. It's like the presence of love, but then it goes away. So that can cause it too. But if you generally give in and you're doing that out of fear of loss, that's going to be an anxious attachment style. If you're a fighter, if you like to fight and get to the bottom of things immediately, you're going to be more like a fearful avoidant. That means that you have trust issues because the betrayal wound that you've experienced in the past is going to dictate, the fact that you want to feel safe. So you try to get to the bottom of things, and you might get spicy in conflict. You might have trouble dropping the issue. You're going to want to solve it on the spot. Okay. And you're probably going to be hyper vigilant in the relationship because you don't want to get hurt. Your subconscious mind says people that are close to you can hurt you. So you try to solve the issue. So if you're a fighter and you think that you're anxious, think again. You're probably a fearful avoidant. Fearful avoidants can also check out of conflict because they think that the other person either doesn't care or maybe the other person's a fearful avoidant as well and they're just hard to deal with, so they give up. Now, dismissive avoidants feel broken, and this is why they get really defensive at first in conflict. They don't want to hear about your criticism or what they're not doing right because they already feel like they're not good enough. So ultimately, they're going to get overwhelmed by that conversation because they've been neglected in their youth and they don't have the communication skills. And so they're ultimately going to either shut down because they can't handle the intensity, or they're going to run away from the situation before that shutdown even happens. And this would be after they get defensive, typically. Sometimes they will fawn and just sort of like give you your way, but it's not in a please don't leave me kind of way. It's more like in a yeah, just shut up kind of way, right? They're going to minimize. They're going to do anything they can do to avoid the conflict. So based upon how you act in your conflict, that's going to tell you, and not when it's a calm discussion. It has to be like when you're triggered, okay? That's going to tell you what your attachment style is. And you can also use this metric to determine your ex's attachment style. And if you want help looking into things a little bit deeper, if you want me to, like if it's not adding up to you, I can help you do that on a call. Just click into my profile, click this link, set up a call with me, and I'll talk to you soon.